Well, folks, it seems the United States, a nation founded on the principle of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, has developed a bit of a sweet tooth. Not for apple pie, mind you, but for its neighbor to the north, Canada. The idea might sound far-fetched, but it's not as new as you might think. Yes, that's right, the idea of annexing Canada, once relegated to the dusty corners of history books, has somehow wriggled its way back into the spotlight. This isn't just a whimsical notion, it's a concept that has deep historical roots. Sadly, the notion of Canada becoming the 51st state has been gaining traction in certain circles. It's a topic that has sparked heated debates and passionate discussions. This resurgence in annexation chatter coincides, unsurprisingly, with the political climate south of the border. The current political environment seems to be a fertile ground for such radical ideas to resurface. But before we delve into the nitty-gritty of how this hypothetical hostile takeover might play out, let's take a quick trip down memory lane, shall we? Understanding the past can often shed light on the present and future. Ah, manifest destiny, that shining beacon of American exceptionalism, a concept that was as ambitious as it was controversial. It was the belief that bigger was always better, that the United States was destined to expand across the North American continent. Back in the 19th century, this idea fueled westward expansion across the American continent, often at the expense of, well, everyone already living there. Native American tribes were displaced and the landscape was forever changed. And guess what? Canada, with its vast tracts of land and abundant resources, didn't escape Uncle Sam's roving eye. The northern neighbor was seen as a potential addition to the growing American empire. There were whispers, plans hatched, even a few skirmishes along the border. Tensions ran high as both nations navigated their complex relationship. Thankfully, cooler heads mostly prevailed and Canada remained, Canada. Diplomatic efforts and negotiations helped maintain peace and stability. Fast forward to the present day, and while the days of outright land grabs may be behind us, the relationship between the US and Canada remains deeply intertwined. The two countries share a long history of cooperation and mutual support. But here's the thing. Close collaboration doesn't equal consent to be absorbed. Both nations value their sovereignty and work together as equal partners, respecting each other's independence. Now let's talk strategy. In the complex world of international relations, strategy is everything. It's a game of chess where every move counts, and the stakes are incredibly high. If a certain someone were to actually entertain this outlandish notion of annexation, it would be a spectacle to behold. The first step would likely be a grandiose declaration, filled with bold promises and nationalistic fervor. How might they go about it? Well, based on past performance, it would likely involve a healthy dose of bluster, a show of strength designed to intimidate and impress both allies and adversaries. A dash of economic strong-arming would follow, leveraging trade policies to exert pressure. This could involve renegotiating trade deals or imposing sanctions to bend others to their will, and a whole lot of appeals to fear and patriotism. Stirring speeches would be made, invoking the spirit of the nation and the need to protect its interests at all costs. First, we'd likely see an escalation of the trade wars that have become a hallmark of recent years. This would be a calculated move to disrupt the economic stability of the target nation. Tariffs would be slapped on everything from maple syrup to hockey sticks, creating a ripple effect that would be felt across various industries, all while claiming it's in the best interest of American workers. This narrative would be pushed hard, painting the actions as necessary for the protection and prosperity of the domestic workforce. Next, we can expect some good old-fashioned political maneuvering. Behind closed doors, deals would be struck, and alliances would be formed. Backroom deals, promises of power, and strategic alliances would be the order of the day. These maneuvers would be crucial in gaining the necessary support, and maybe even a few strategically placed campaign contributions to sway influential Canadians. Money talks, and in politics, it can be a powerful tool to influence decisions, and of course no power play would be complete without a heavy dose of fear-mongering. The public would be bombarded with messages designed to create a sense of urgency and fear, rallying them behind the cause. Section 4, America's Northern Treasure Chest Economic Impacts on the U.S. Alright, let's say for the sake of argument that this whole annexation thing actually happened. What would it mean for the U.S. economy? Well, on the surface it might look like hitting the jackpot. Think about it. Canada, a land practically overflowing with natural resources. Oil, timber, fresh water, you name it, they've got it. Then there's the matter of Canada's own economy, a respectable $2 trillion behemoth in its own right. Absorbing that into the US would be like adding a shot of espresso to an already caffeinated economy. Section 5. Trading the maple leaf for the stars and stripes, economic impacts on Canada. Now let's flip the script and look at things from Canada's perspective. Because let's be honest, this whole annexation business wouldn't be some amicable merger of equals, it'd be a hostile takeover, plain and simple. First and foremost, Canada would cease to exist as an independent nation. No more maple leaf flag, no more "Oh Canada," no more politely pretending to care about curling during the Olympics. Then there's the small matter of Canada's social safety net, including that universal healthcare system Americans love to hate. Section 6. A world on edge, social and geopolitical ramifications. But wait, there's more. Because the fallout from this hypothetical annexation wouldn't be confined to North America. Imagine the headlines. U.S. annexes Canada, declares itself ruler of all things north of Mexico. Allies would be alienated, adversaries would be emboldened, and the U.S. reputation on the world stage would take a nosedive. And then there's the small matter of domestic resistance. From peaceful protests to acts of civil disobedience, the annexation of Canada would likely be met with fierce resistance from within. In short, the annexation of Canada, far from being some grand strategic masterstroke, would be a geopolitical and social disaster of epic proportions.